Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Engineering Project of the Year Awards info session. I am Sharon Chen, EIT. I'm the Awards and Recognition Director for the PEO York chapter. And on behalf of the PEO York chapter Engineering Project of the Year Awards Committee, we are very excited to present the 2 awards that we have for you all this year. We're really excited that you're joining us to find out a bit more about how the awards process works and any tips and tricks for participating in awards. So just a few housekeeping items before we begin. Please mute your mics and turn off your webcam during the presentation. I'm actually going to full screen this as well. There will be a Q&A right after our very brief presentation, and please do note that the session is being recorded. I would like to begin by acknowledging the Indigenous people of all the lands that we are on today. While we are meeting today on a virtual platform, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we each call home, that we actually live on. Within the York region, we do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and into improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territories. For York region, it should be we are on the territories of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, Mississauga of the Credit First Nation, and Mississauga peoples that call this land home. Please join me in a moment of reflection to acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and to consider how we can how we are and can each in our own way try to move forward in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. So the facilitators for tonight consists of myself, Sharon Chen, I'm the Awards and Recognition Director, and Huzaifa Abid, who is an avid Engineering Project of the Year Award Committee member. All right, next one, please. So the 2020 awards this year consist of our 2 main awards. The one that we have been hosting since 2012 is the regular Engineering Project of the Year Awards. And that award has 3 categories. This year it is classified based on a combination of both the amount of employees within the organization within the GTA, as well as the project size and project value to ensure that there is a fair competition between the projects within each category, and that is small, medium, and large. Brand new this year, we're super excited about launching is the Engineering Research Project of the Year Award. We've noticed that in past years, well, there are a lot of established consulting companies and municipalities that are participating in our regular award. We also noticed that there's like a gap in terms of the cutting edge research and the technology and the engineering research that may not have reached the mature market adaptation stage yet. That's also very important too, because that is the future of engineering, something that will be in the market as the norm 10 or 20 years from now. So we created the Engineering Research Project of the Year Award to really capture potential applicants and projects from research and development companies or post-secondary institutions with research within the faculty. So we're really excited to present that to you all this year, which it also means that whoever places in this award this year may get to be the first to say that they are the winner of this brand new award. The purpose of the award is to first of all, recognize projects by licensed professional engineers and their contributions to the community. And the organizations that these professional engineers belong to. As you all know, PEO is Professional Engineers Ontario is the regulatory body for engineering and engineers within the province. So it's very important that it is consisted of licensed professional engineers as well as other professionals. The award raises public awareness of the engineering profession and tries to connect high tech companies to their local engineering community of potential community partners. The project eligibility for both the awards apply on this page, which is there must be at least one licensed PN who has overseen the project. The project itself must be completed within 2020 or be at a substantial stage of completion. For example, this doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be fully constructed by the year 2020 or within the year 2020. It could be substantially designed, constructed, or manufactured within 2020. Moreover, the organization should have an operational presence in the Greater Toronto Area or York region. Again, it doesn't need to be solely within the York region as long as it's within the Greater Toronto Area. There is no extra points for being in York region. The project must not have placed first or second in the 2019 awards last year. However, if the project was entered and was a finalist in the previous year, you can still re-enter it this year. And lastly, the same project, any given project, cannot be entered for both of the awards. Again, that's not the same as any company can enter any number of projects, but for each project itself, the same project cannot be entered for 2 awards. It can only be entered for one, the Research Engineering Project of the Year award, Engineering Research Project of the Year award, or the Engineering Project of the Year award, but not both. In addition to those eligibility requirements, we have some guidelines on for the research project, engineering research project of the year award, and that is the research project itself has to have engineering application and has to have some current or future implication for the engineering industry and the profession. And say there is a industry partner, this applies more for post-secondary institution which may have an industry partner. The industry partner's employees, for example, like they cannot be personally doing more than 50% of the research. If the organization are a main applicant of this award. However, if you are a company and you are doing that research, then this doesn't apply to you. It's just if it's an external partner, then it should be stated that they should do less than half. And just an overview of the awards process. Right now we're in stage 1, which is the application form submission. That is due late January 20th, 2021 at 11:59 p.m. After that, preliminary judging will occur and the applicants, the finalists will be selected from the applicants who have submitted the application form. And to be clear, for the first stage, the only deliverable is the application form itself. After the preliminary judging, finalists will be selected and the finalists will be notified and they will present at the Zoom finalist presentations. And this will be mid-February 2021. It'll be a morning of a Saturday. And this date should be finalized on the website by the time the January 20th, 2021 deadline comes around. This will be, traditionally, this has been a 10-minute presentation followed by 5 minutes of questions per project. After this finalist round, the first and second place winners of each category for the engineering project of the year award and just the first and second place winners for the research project of the year award will be selected and notified, then which they will be invited to a awards gala, which is planned for March 2021 one. However, given the condition of COVID, this may need to be flexible. We will be communicating with the winners at that point to see whether we hold a virtual alternative like the Emmys, or we postpone it until such time that should it be the preference of the winners to hold it later but in person. Lastly, for the awards criteria, it is the same for both awards. It is innovation, technical merit and distinction, environmental and social sustainability, commercial viability, and impact to York Region and neighboring communities. In this case, it's defined as the GTA. Neighboring communities is the GTA. Note that while the criteria is the same in terms of what they are for both the Engineering Project of the Year Award and the Research Project of the Year Award, the weightings are different, and those are indicated in their distinct application forms. Without further ado, I'm going to give the floor over to my co-facilitator, Huzaifa, for his part of the presentation.
Thanks, Sharon. So next slide. Okay, so the application form. So all this information is already on the application form. Just to reiterate, so the application should be no more than 9 pages. So this includes the 5 pages of text and the 4 additional pages of illustrations and or photographs you may have. So 9 pages total. Now, we do understand that space might be a concern. So on the application, you will see that some text descriptions in brackets and italics are highlighted in gray. When you're doing your application, you can delete these just to give you a little bit more space. So as you can see, the highlighted gray, you see all the grades out stuff. So when you're filling out your application, you can delete these and you'll get a bit more space. All right, so the application deadline is on 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time by January 20th, 2021. And you have to submit it to awards@puyork.com. Please ensure that this application is evaluated holistically. As you know, each criteria has its own respective rating. So please make sure you touch upon all of the criteria and not leave any blank or underfinished. Next slide. Sure. So some tips to give to all of you. The first point is about the time slot. So what happens is, if you're chosen as the finalist, you will get to choose your time slot for your final presentation based on when you submitted your application. So if someone submits their application very early on and you get to be chosen as a finalist, you will have the first take on your time slot. So this is a great advantage as you will get to choose when you want to present. If you want to present first or last, that will depending on you. Second point, keep your audience in mind. So when you're filling out your application, how you organize your information and how technical you get, be in mind of that, be intuitive, and as the judges have no prior knowledge of your project, so keep that in mind and ensure that it's your communication style is kept in mind for when you're writing your application out. Last point, make sure you capture all your criteria. As mentioned before, this application is evaluated holistically. So you want to make sure that all of your criteria is made you take, in consideration all your criteria and you work on all of it based on the weighting. So next slide. So here are some of the frequently asked questions. Does the project need to take place in the York region? The answer is no, the project does not need to take place in the York region, but the project should be at a minimum be part of the GTA, or the company should have an operational presence in the GTA. So again, you don't need to have a project that needs to be taken place in the York region. Second question we frequently asked is, can we repeat information in the application? Try not to repeat the information in the application. There is a section in the application called Impact to York Region and on Neighboring Communities. We are aware that that has its own specific section, so you can be more detailed for that, but please ensure that the bulk of the information should be highlighted in the project description category of the application. So try not to repeat it, but also keep in mind the different categories that are there. The last point that is frequently asked is the schedule timeline. So as you can see, we will have our information session and on January 12th. It's closer to the application submission date, which is on the January 20th. And the finalists will be announced somewhere around the end of January. We're still going to decide the date, and the finalist judging will be around mid-February 2021. But those dates are more will be decided later on. We'll update you. So next slide. Okay, well, that concludes the presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in chat, or you can unmute your mic. I think we have a question here. Oh, so we do have a question here, Sharon, from Tony Rose. Can the 4 additional pages be a combination of photos and narratives, or is it limited to more visuals with minimal text? That's one of the questions.
That's a good question. Within the application form itself, it is the 4 pages should be, the 4 additional pages should be limited text because we've indicated that it should be, yeah. So yes, it is. It should be mostly photos with limited text, but of course you're free to have text that illustrate what the photos are trying to show, right? And point attention to specific parts. But the dominant part should be the photos, not the text. It shouldn't be mostly text.
Okay, Laura also raised a hand. You can go ahead and ask your question, Laura.
Thank you. I was just wondering, can we provide links to videos as part of that?
Yes, but definitely you can provide a hyperlink as part of that, but there's just no guarantee that the judges will necessarily click it. So
Okay.
that's what we can't guarantee, but you can definitely put it in there.
Okay, thank you. I had another question, if no one else does at the moment.
Not so far, you can go ahead.
Okay, great. I was wondering, are all the judges engineers?
Yes, they will be.
And from different sectors generally, or?
Yes, we try to get at least like a diverse set of preliminary judges as well as finalist judges, and those 2 sets of judges will be different. Should like, for sure they will be different, but they will all be professional engineers.
Okay, thank you. And I was wondering if you could elaborate on the awards criteria, just the first and the third. So in terms of commercial viability, would you be able to just elaborate on that section? Oh, I see. Okay, it's in the form here.
Yeah, it should be. If you go to the website and download the form, it should have, like this year, I understand that in previous year, this is actually one of the improvements we've made since last year, is having a bit more specific guiding questions to help give you at least a bit of the, like a sense of the evaluation criteria. So it's not just one word and you don't know what that is, right? So
right.
Again, like feel free to, for commercial viability under here is, how does your project address a need? What's the completion status of your project phase or product phase? How cost effective? So if you find that this is still not enough, just shoot me an email at awards@poyork.com. It's
Okay,
not
great.
here, it's on the page over here. It says if you have any questions, you can always email here. So and I will try to answer the question as fairly as I can without revealing any information that the other applicants wouldn't know. But
absolutely,
feel free to, like the gray text, it's there to help the applicants fill out the application form, but upon submission you can delete it.
Perfect.
But definitely do not delete it before reading it, obviously, because it'll help you. But yeah.
Great. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you both so much.
No problem.
Hey,
Thank you for the
Sharon.
question.
Sharon, will the recording session be distributed to attendees, or?
Yes.
Okay.
It will be uploaded onto YouTube, and then we will distributed to the attendees via link, and it will also be publicly available on our YouTube page. So we can make that available within 24 hours.
Okay, and Laura is also asking, will you share the deck?
The deck I may not share because though I feel like the recording should be sufficient enough, but I think I will share the video, but not necessarily the slide deck. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question. My name is Maria. How you doing?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm just asking you because I'm going to apply for the research project award, and none of our researchers are PNG. We are PGOs. We are professional geoscientists. But the project is in environmental engineering actually, and it's not exactly in the GTA, it's in Simcoe County, but we are a post-secondary institution that is in the GTA, and also our industry partner is in the GTA. So are we within the criteria to apply for this or not?
Maria, thank you so much for your interest, and that sounds like a really awesome project. Unfortunately, the at least one licensed professional engineer criteria is like a must.
For the research, also for the
research as well.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's because we're part of because we're your chapter of Professional Engineers Ontario, and that is the regulatory body. So for us, that's like non-negotiable. So like that, your project already sounds like really cool, and I'm really sorry that the eligibility requirements doesn't allow you to do that, but thank you for the question.
Not a problem. It's better to know it now than later. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want you to do the work and to find out that it's all been for nothing, right? So
that's fine. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Maria. Any other questions? No, nothing on chat. Nothing. Anyone can raise their hand or unmute their mic. Nope. Okay. That's it. Then I will pass it on to Sharon to end the presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, Oliver raised his hand.
Oh, Oliver is. Oh, okay. He just did it. Sorry. Okay, Oliver, go for it.
I don't know if I can add something here.
You can always add something here.
Thank you. So just to, if anyone has a similar question. Oh, sorry about that. First of all, my name is Oliver Zhao. I'm a volunteer at PO chapter, and just want to share some insight regarding the concern if anyone doesn't have a PNG on their team. So one thing based on our experience that's acceptable is if the project has a partner that's not within your company. However, he does oversees the engineering part of the project. It's also eligible. So again, the prelim judge will evaluate accordingly, of course. But for example, how do I put it into an example? For example, if a project is a research project at a college, and the main staff or participant are students, and the lab staff who doesn't have a PNG. However, since this project is a collaboration with the industry, and if that funding or that company that's providing the material has the oversight on that project, and if that guy has a PNG, and as long as he agrees to partner with you in the submission, then he can be the overseeing PNG, and then it does qualify. So I'm not sure if the previous, I forgot your name, sorry.
It's Maria. It's Maria. It's Maria. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Oliver, for the clarification. Hopefully everyone gets some insight on that. Any other questions?
Yep. Just for context, Oliver is both a key award committee member. He was also last year's chair of this Engineering Project of the Year award. So he has some lots of experience to share. And that's true, as long as like for the project, if there's an engineer, whether like as long as it's on that project, then it's okay. But yeah, like we don't distinguish between the line in terms of the applying company. As long as someone's involved, it's the project that is being entered. So that project should have a licensed professional engineer on one side, or the other, overseeing it and agreeing to provide their PO number and their name to for this application form for the project. So are there any other questions?
No, doesn't look like there are any other questions. So I guess we can move on to the next and continue.
Perfect. Thanks, everyone. So if you have any further questions, any questions in the future that you may not have thought of right now, but would like to ask later, again, you can check our website. There's a frequently asked questions part, but there's also the awards@poyork.com email. This email I answer personally. It gets directed right to me. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask that email. We can answer via email or a quick call. It's up to you. I am very responsive, and so is all of the volunteers on my committee. If you have been in touch with them, then I recommend do keep in touch with them if you have any questions. Our answers will be consistent, and we'll try our best to give you the information that you need to proceed with your application. And just to show where the PO York website is, it's just poyork.com/project of the year award, or if it's research, you just put an R in the front. Or to navigate to it from the main page, you just go to committees, awards and recognition, and then whichever award it is. The application form, you can simply find it. If you click this, it will download it for you, and everything you really need will be here, including all of the detailed eligibility criteria, questions, and any fine print. Perfect. So lastly, that is our last slide for the evening. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening and taking the time out of your busy end of year schedule to hear about this award. We really appreciate all of your support in applying for this award, and we wish you all the best of luck in making it to the finalist round and then getting a first or second place prize after that. Thanks all for coming, and have a wonderful night.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone.
Have a good evening, everyone.